orientation, but that's what we're going to have to deal with. I'm going to let it get focused here. It is mostly um, audio anyway. Let me see if I'm going to get. I can't even see the chat here, so let me see if I can. You're going to have to bear with me on this. Once I get it set up. All right, here we go. That's me. Closes. I know I'm a moderator. And there is nobody here. Um, Part of the enjoyment of a particular channel, like I've been watching gaming channels doing Arc Raiders and stuff, uh, just to get a diversion, from what I was dealing with, which we'll get into. Sorry, I gotta get. It says top messages. I have to remember how to. Chat filter, community moderation. There we go. Live chat on. Live chat summary. Participation mode. Mode delayed none. For the channel. Blocked words. No. If it'll allow it, there ain't going to be any blocked words, because I'm going to use cuss words occasionally. I'm not going to. I'm not going to hold potentially inappropriate chat messages for review. It says live stream offline. And mine says 146 with nobody here. Let me try this again. You can see what's going on here. Try searching to get started. I don't care about that. All right. Sorry for the bumping here. We're going through a lot of turbulence. This is a test anyway. If it works, then I'll... It says I've been live for 2 minutes. I've got 1 thumbs up if somebody's here. If you would, you don't have to, but leave an emoji or something else if you don't want to make a comment, because I got to fix these settings here. No, I don't want to reverse it. And that's just the speaker. What's this little star thing do? It makes it... Oh, effects. We don't want that. How do I get out of this? I don't know. There. Just had to hit the button again. Sorry. Oh, and now I'm starting to see it. Greg. Hello, Greg. There you go. Thank you. Audio and video good. I think I might be able to change the orientation, or I might be stuck with this. I'm just going to push buttons and see if anything happens. Show live video. What's this? Button say. A 49-second short was uploaded. Oh, crap. Okay, I'm going to try to get back to you. What is this? Copy link. Okay, I'm copying a link. There's another little thing over here with a chat filter. Top messages, community moderation. Oh, I hear it popped up on this again. Live chat on, live chat summary, participation mode, anyone. Oh, some brush against my feet. There's a missing kitten in here. That's what I got to talk about, too. For the channel, blocked words, community polls. Okay. Close that right here. Now it just shows a little circle. Let me get this. Sorry. I'm going to leave this up here in case it's working. We may have to restart this. I'm getting it. Don't worry, Greg. It's just me and you right now, but if I get it working, subscriptions, and maybe up here where it goes live. There you go. It should pop up again. Yeah, there. 18 watching. Ooh, now it's great. 18 watching. Yeah, there. 18 watching. Uh-oh. Ooh, now it's great. Echo. All right, on my screen, I've got that. Quit this. No, not the next video, you idiot. This is on my other channel. Go there, you. See, that's all I see. All right, on my screen, I've got that. That's okay. Let me see. No, there we go. Video, you idiot. I was pushing buttons over here. All right, see, we'll get through with this. All right, now I'm going to use this one down here. That's okay. This is me being the other monitor. I was pushing buttons over here. All right, see, we'll get through with this. I've learned also you can do audio typing. This is me being the other monitor. Quit it. It takes me a long time, so watch me try to type. Oh, and I gotta turn this down because it's creating echo. Echo, echo. There we go. Is that echo effect too bad? I can't really hear. I got my volume maxed out on my own phone. All right, we got SEAL Team 6. Cool, Greg. All right, so this relates to um, asshole merit badge, and part of it is it's cat related too because of this cat uh, was so affectionate with me. I decided to go ahead and adopt him, and in doing that, it released me from. I've been set myself a mental trap, and so I'm normally an introvert. You may not know that, but reclusive and stuff like that. And with the pandemic that had happened, it was good reason for that. And then with me smuggling cats on my back, see, if they catch you not having an animal that you don't declare. I'm sorry, I'm not watching chat right now. I'm just rumbling up, and my moderator's goofing off. So let me get a point off, and then look at the chat. They can find you, and so I'm good at keeping secrets because I was in electronic warfare, and I've got a bunch of pictures over here that we're going to just go through, and it might help you. I'm just going to comment on some of them when they come through, and it'll show you in different stages of my life, and you might be able to have a better understanding because what I've gone through, it's not a religious experience or anything like that. It's just I'm just discarding things that haven't been working. Like, why did it take you so long when it's only $100 for an eye exam? Now, yeah, the glasses can cost more. Walmart right next to it went $390, and it would take 2 weeks to get there. Well, once you got the prescription, you can go online, and it was like 150, and I wasn't even. That was like the first one I saw. So that's the ripoff because that's not even. Walmart doesn't even own the optometrist. They get the money. She was really good. But why? Look at that 25-year-old glasses. Look at this. I sat on them recently. Look at that. And here's improvising, heat shrink, and surgical tubing. Like I said, I can get by. Sorry for this earthquake. So we're gonna start getting some pictures. I'll quickly kind of describe it. Then I'll be able to look back. Audio good again. Meet you. I'm a hermit. Yeah, good, good. Um, most of my life, I can entertain myself. I don't need other people, and I think it was because I grew up before the internet. If you want to entertain yourself, you read a book like science fiction or something. Other people would join sports clubs and stuff. I'd get a magnifying glass, go out and burn ants. Uh, we'll just start off. That's my dad with the Chihuahua, which is ironic. That's Ginger, and it's around Christmas time. He's got that. Look at that. That's a phone. It's a fairly modern phone though, and all these little presents down here. I don't think I was living with him at the time, but uh, that dog is kind of funny in our family because he hated Chihuahuas. He always said his grandfather had a Chihuahua. We're gonna need you here, Dick. We're gonna need you here. Um, his grandfather was had a Chihuahua, and Dad always hated. He said, "I will never have a Chihuahua. They're barky, noisy dogs, and they don't do anything good." And then he loved that thing. I mean, you can see and this one and one she got fat. She got huge. You would feed her ice cream and all kinds of stuff. All right, I worked in Intel in New Mexico, and there was one place where you could go and feed, of all things in the desert, seagulls. But the Rio Grande River goes down there. So a buddy of mine, an Indian friend, you'll see him. He said, "There's no such thing as seagulls here. You're imagining that." He was messing with me, but I had to get him photographs and prove, yeah, they're real. was a family car, Oldsmobile Cutlass, and it had a 350. I think it was a 330 V8 in it, but you could flip the air breather over and make it roar. And later on, I love this car, man. They used my nickname in the hood was called Scratch because I'd get it to go to turn the corner and floor it and go what, and just smoke the tires. Well, it's gonna burn rubber. I mean that stuff like drifting and stuff that costs money. Let me look at the chat here and take a pause, and we'll look at the next line because you're getting at me really early. This is me when I was really young. That's my older sister Diana, and that's my younger sister Pam. And Diana sent this to me. She goes, one of my most favorite photos, Albany, Georgia, summer 1960. It's good to have an older sister to refresh her memory because I don't remember any of that. Very little. Now here I'm starting to remember this. This was Six Lakes, where you would reserve. Dad bought this plot, and you could go there and fish, and we just cleared it out. It's just a little thing that supposedly if you got that, then year round you could do fishing and stuff. Okay, you've seen this one before. This is me in England, and I carry this shit around sometime, man. This I was in there in 1980 and 1981, and this is after I got out of the service and was living over there. I didn't know because I had dual citizenship. I could have worked and I could have got national health, but I thought I was an American citizen. American citizens were not allowed to work because they were taking away work from British citizens, and I had dual citizenship. So see, that's another thing is there. Some things I'm smart on, other things I'm incredibly stupid about, and one of them is priorities. With the glasses. All right, now if anybody's going to make it to heaven, it's going to be Grandma Mansell because she would play religious songs on the piano when nobody's around, and she always went to church and she donated. I would give her crap. She goes, I'm sending a lot of money to the starving women in Palestine. I said, Mom, you're feeding the PLO. But she goes, you should be a preacher. No, no, thank you. All right, this is me working at the range. That's my sister, Diana. She's a member in here too. She may or may not comment, but you'll see her in the members if she ever pops in. That's me. Now look at this. One target and sandbags. Each extra gun, $2.50. I think it was like $1 or something. Extra target, 75 cents. I was a range officer. We had a little bit of stuff. We did all kinds of stuff up there. They had an FFL. We reloaded. We sold stuff. You could order things through the catalog. Let me do some more. This is a buddy of mine in Florida. I just thought the sign was. I met him at Intel, and he sent me a picture back and said, stop, no trespassing, guarded by men, guns, attack dogs. Survivors will be prosecuted. Survivors. That's the kind of people I hang with. All right. New Mexico, let me show you this. This is upside down hot air balloon. This is my backyard in New Mexico, the wall. These things are random. It's just shuffled. All right. Here's a good idea of me. That's me trying out for in high school, junior varsity league high school. Look at me compared to all the other kids. I didn't last very long because they jacked with me. They tied my shoelaces together, and when I went to start running, I fell down, and I said, look. They were going to have me as a wingman or something. I said, nah, football's not cut out for me. How about being a cowboy, huh? I got a gun. I got a horse. I got the outfit. And that's Dad. This is like El Paso. It's not. I think it's El Paso. I got that little sombrero, and he looks like a normal dad, right? This is me in school where I am no longer smiling. I've become disillusioned with life. All right, this is out of service. That's my mom. That's a brother-in-law who, at that range, he used to be his name was Bobby. I can tell you his last name, but I don't want to, but he used to be at the range. He was a lieutenant of the Houston Airport police, and he got his dad or something found out about there was a ranch out there that had a shooting range, and he was going to expand it, and that's me happy about something. But I just cut the sleeves off. I wore this crap out of stuff like that. Let me keep going, and then we'll get to the good stuff. All right, so this is again in Mexico. You could just find these little flowers, and I just would plant them. And if you got water there, that was the main thing. If you irrigated, man, all kinds of stuff would grow. All right, let me just look through briefly. I just want to show you some more, and then I'll get to the chat because as I'm talking about this, I've been I'm not on any chemical substance. I know it's not unusual for people on chemical substances to be up for days on end with no sleep and just run around manically. I've been very depressed, and this is a manic stage of it because I'm just so happy. Everything is just turning out so well. Okay, so let's divert this, and I know that Chad is going to be watching this because I gave him both of my channels things. You know the issue we had with Chad. I thought he was just a regular civilian jerk, and he was talking, and I'd forgiven him about the scooter thing, I mean, I told him when we were doing that, we confront he at the door, I just told him, "You're pissing me off, and I don't like to be pissed off." And after that, I got over it because I got the scooter back, and I got over it, and we started talking, but I still was reclusive and everything. And once Scrappy started coming up and just showed me, that the priorities in life are not to be pissed off all the time and not to be upset. But Chad explained it all. He's a Marine, he's a former Marine. I said, even if I hadn't forgiven you before, man, I forgive you now. Because it's people that have never served don't understand. I thought he was just this privileged guy that just liked being a jerk, and he's never done anything for anybody in his life. Well, he served in the Marines. Now he says he wasn't in combat, and he knows people who was, and he just doesn't forget. Dude, I served in the Cold War. I wanted, look, he's falling. I wanted the war, to go on and stuff because I'm stupid. When you're young and stupid. This is me back in Houston after getting out of the service. I still got my T-shirt. They don't give you that T-shirt. This is me in San Antonio starting to look Spanish now. Look at that. I got an even better one where I look Spanish. I'm just gonna zip through there. Okay, this is mom and dad. Dad was originally in the Navy, and that's mom. They were young. They were very young. Okay. Contrast. That's him, very old. I don't have very old. We're just gonna blaze through this, and then I'm gonna catch up on because we've been at 18 minutes. This is a cool little Toyota truck that I had, and I drive it out to the desert. That's the way, New Mexico, you just drive to where the pavement starts and just start blasting if you wanted to. More flowers upside down. I don't care about flowers. You take your stinking flowers. All right, there's Dad with an M1 carbine, and it's definitely Navy. You see, it's definitely Navy. I always thought it was Air Force, and I found out from Mom or my sister that the Navy had some kind of thing where you had to be single. You couldn't have any. It was wartime. You couldn't have a wife or anything like that. And they found out the girl basically. That's Diana, and that's me. Sometimes you're. Oh yeah, that's it. One of Dad's fishing spots, El Paso, 58 or 59. Dad liked to fish. That's me. Look at it. That's Diana in the costume. I don't know. She explains it back here. Albany, Georgia, 1959 or 60. The people are neighbors. Bosworth. That's Sable down on the floor. Sable's a cool dog. Mom made my costume. The look on your face. Sable is a Cocker Spaniel. Oh, there she is. But I like looking at the pictures to see. I remember encyclopedias, and then sometimes you can see old stuff. That was on the negative of the photograph. Um, Graduation high school. Look at that long hair. I was about to go in the military. You could not have long hair in Klein High School. And back then, it was, you were either a redneck or a hippie. Well, my dad was a redneck, and his dad was a redneck, and, I just didn't want to follow in the redneck tradition. So, I was going to be a hippie. Some of the Weepanos that I bought after I got out of the service. There's Mom doing duty, I guess. Guard duty. Shouldering that M1. All right. So, see, I used to dress up and go to church. Here it is Easter. There's Pam, there's Diana. This old Dodge, I think. That thing was red. We hit a deer with that. All right, let me catch up with the stream and get a drink of water because, man, I've been going off with this like everyone I meet. I met 3 new friends today. One was a lady. I was trying to clean up after the cats because they, in the picnic area, the kittens, they've been using it as a dump area to dump their, hey, Closser, Mom. I'm going to catch up with this chat here in a second when I get the other phone I just buried. And I took my glasses off. My glasses! Let me get a swig of water. Yeah, just keep falling. It's all right. All of y'all can fall. We don't care. Maybe I'll find my glasses. There! Now we got a clean spot. Yeah, you were the center of the attention anyway for this one. The center of attention should have been the cat. But I don't have any, like these kind of photographs. I've got digital photographs like crazy, I think. But changing that, then I didn't have to hide anymore. Because when Buddy would come in, he's a Siamese cat. I know I said I was going to check the cat, but I got to get this. I got to get this out. When Buddy would come up, I can't. I'm not supposed to. I just sneak him in, and he was pretty cool. He was like reclusive. He would do his thing. I'd do mine, and I could even leave and go places sometimes, and he wouldn't freak out. But then Shadow came along, and Buddy was the top cat. He would fight him, and Shadow was more of a lover than a fighter. He didn't want to. He didn't want to fight with him, but he was persistent. He was friendly. So both Buddy and Shadow were saying, "Hey, we like you. Adopt me." And I'm like, I can't. I don't have any money. It costs too much. Again, you're putting a value on something that's you can't buy. You can't buy an animal that loves you. A human can fake it. Animals don't have to fake it. If a cat rolls on its back and shows you its belly, they're not telling you to scratch it. They're saying, I trust you. I trust you so much. Here, you can kill me if you want. Look at my glass. I'm trying to get them to stay together. I don't have much longer to have to worry about this because another thing that I overcame, I said, all right, let me start getting rid of, if I held a stupid idea, some misconception in my head about this, what's another one? Well, family relations, all right? I'll show you a picture of Frank. I don't think he'll ever watch this. And even if he does, I don't care, because that's the way I feel about it. Let me get to the chat here first while I'm finding that. And quit bouncing like I hear it. Oh, there it is. Good thing I had the volume turned down. Look at this. It says SDR receiver. I didn't type that. What the? Let me straighten this out for a second, and I'll look at the chat, catch up. Everybody can have a drink. I'm taking forever to type. I would show you, but I mean, it's painful because I got to get it within eye range. It's like henpecking. But yeah, we got time, right? That's all we got. Who the hell else is up? It's 1:44 in the a.m., which is kind of early for me. Usually I get up around 3, or I've been up and stay till 3. In this case, I never went to sleep. I simulated sleep. This is my other account, my lockpicking account, and it works well if you don't have a moderator, because you can make yourself a moderator, and this should come up. See, I got a little rant. Chat, more like diarrhea of the mouth. It's supposed to be mouth. See, God, autocorrect. All right, leave that sitting over there, and I'll look at the chat and see if all I missed. It's scrolling too. Oh, you can pull it back up. Okay, cool. I'll go to the very first, and we'll watch. We'll scroll this because a lot of times they don't show the actual things. I know I noticed on some they don't show the screen even on replay. I'm just gonna. Oh man, what the hell? I didn't ask for another short. God, I gotta watch it. I really hate touch. This one's super sensitive. You just touch it the wrong way. Is it? Yeah, it's still alive. More like diarrhea of the mouth. Anyway, that was recent. Oh, we're going. Let's do it this way. Slowly do it this way. Okay, SEAL Team 6. Maybe I can do it on this one. Let me see if I can do it. I can. What the hell? Oh my God. That's the whole reason for having another phone, so I could see this chat, because I thought once it was there, it's gone. But with this format, I guess I can scroll back and forth. Okay. All right. So if anybody asks me any question urgently or anything like that, place it there. But otherwise, I'm going to continue on. But I can watch it now and know what to do. And this is just for me being a moderator or putting in snide remarks. Let's put it over here. Game over. See, that's how I can do it. And if anybody wants to really be a moderator, I'm not worried about it. I mean, I would say just don't ban people just flat out or time them out just for no reason. But it's a thankless job, and I thank you for it if you want to do it. Just let me know, and I'll figure out how to do it. All right, so once the cat situation, I just started opening up, and it's not like I took a spiritual quest, or I fast. I mean, I have been fasting, but it's just because of insomnia and everything. I just haven't been eating, and to process things, I've been walking. So I'm not having any sleep, and I walked 40 miles in a week. Now, it's not all at once, but I mean, you got to be up a lot and just walking. My normal goal is 2 miles a day, and I was going like 7.5 at most, and averaging around like 5 or so. And I'm old. I mean, I'm 68. I can still walk, but I mean, that's wear and tear, and it was getting my back. So every time I would try to straighten up my spine by laying down, uh, something would happen, and I'd have to get up. Let me just check the chat here, because I'm losing my train of thought here on it. But finally, instead of just acknowledging people and going by and not talking to them, I say hi. And all right, so you're gonna find out about why I'm not showing my face. It's because I'm missing teeth, and I know how people. I'm missing a lot of teeth. I know how people are about it. Now, when I went in the service, I had one cavity, and most of my life, I didn't have any problem with cavity. But when I was in New Mexico, and my 21-year-old girlfriend, they were doing something that messes up your teeth, and it's not the M1, all right? And I had a friend of mine who had always had weak stuff like that, and finally he got some, and I said, I just don't feel good about this, I feel like grinding my teeth. And he goes, that's it, that's the high, that's what you chase. And I go, what? I can do this without it. It's nervousness, it's grinding your teeth. No, thank you, I don't like that. And that was fine. But when you're with somebody, and I'll say again, I don't know how YouTube's going to talk about this, but I'm not condoning. What am I carrying? Yeah. So I've been carrying a lot of, oh, that's another thing. So I already knew one Marine. Chad likes knives. He likes Essie knives and everything. There's a guy named Joe down here who works for Ennis. He's cool. He was not necessarily working in the military, but I'm just sitting there talking to him. I talked to Mary. Mary gave me her Wi-Fi password. Now I can upload and download so much. I said it's just like snowballing the good effect, and it's just from. All right, let me get back to the lady that I helped. I was trying to help the kiddies, and I'm not working here, but she was an old lady, and she was having issues. I'm just gonna turn that one off there because I can do this up there. She was having issues. She doesn't even have a cane. She has a schnauzer in one hand and a big bag of, I mean, not this big, but a big bag of Kentucky Fried Chicken type thing. Or it's we don't have Kentucky Fried. It's Golden Chick or something like this. I mean, but this is where I'm going to start including one of these because they give them out. I saved this one because April is my birthday, and that was when they had the blue bonnets and the eclipse. So I saved that one. But every month they throw one in. I'll start throwing that in the giveaway. And I've been carrying mostly that K-bar, but I've been switching on and off. But mostly that K-bar because I've been doing that knife game, just throwing knives and trying to stick stuff. Trying to figure out how to make it a logical thing. Like, all right, if you're just rolling around and you're saying, okay, let me try a spin thrower, let me try this distance or that distance, you got to figure out what distance you want to throw and how hard you want to hit it. And if it's a board or something, anybody can throw in soft ground and get a butter knife even to stick. I wanted it to hit wood and stick as far as it could. It kind of rhymes there, doesn't it? And so I started off with the K-bar, but I'm gonna do the SE5 and the Becker BK2, and I just want someone to complain about you're gonna ruin your blade when I do the SE. I want them to say that's not no way to treat a blade. I always say I told Chad, I said, man, you need to watch Joe X, because I said he was thinking about he wanted a Azula 2. I got an Azula, but he wanted an Azula or an SE3. And I was showing him different ones. He was thinking about scout carrying. I said, man, the thing I don't like about scout carrying is you got the weapon behind your back. And he goes, I'm left-handed. I can reach it fast. I'm like, okay, whatever works for you. I like up front. But I showed him see, now I got somebody to talk about knives. I got two military friends, what I told Chad was, I said, look, the Marines, we give them a lot of shit. I was in what we call the chair force, But, I mean, we had a lot of stuff to do, too. I mean, these are some of the guns I had that I had to sell and get rid of. I mean, this is why I say collecting is all fun and nice, But what's not fun and nice is when you got to get rid of them. That was my grandfather's gun. My dad got it. It's a Colt Lightning and 38 long Colt. It's like what Billy the Kid lived. Look at that pistol grip handle. Somebody at the range said they knew how to work on it, and he messed it up even worse. And these things were really tricky, so it wasn't in fire. But I had ammo for it, original ammo for it, because I grew up. Anyways, I had sold that for $150 when I was at a pawn shop. When I was out of a job for 5 years. This gun right here is a gun that I had with me when my brother-in-law, one of my other brother-in-laws on my sister's side, Donnie, they were having a separation. And she wanted to go over there because he was going to bring some stuff. And I said, stay in the garage. I got a 22, and if he does anything, I'll cap him. And she goes, no, I'll go over there. I'll go over there. And I'm like, okay, I guess I can't stop you from going over there. And so Mom is worried about this and calls, to see if everything is all right. And she says, put Diana on the phone. And I'm listening in the bedroom on the extension, right where Dad kept this gun in the sock drawer, fully loaded, for varmints and such. And I hear him say, she can't come to the phone because I knocked her out. Oh. Something switched in me. I had that Volkswagen, and the road is blocked. I drove around. I knew the path to take. I drove her through the yard. I went over there, and this is where it gets weird. Now remember, Diana's been knocked out. She remembers it one way, I remember it another. I had the gun in my hand. I walked up to the screen door, and nobody was there. She remembers that I came in and I said, where do you want me to shoot him? And I brought her back. And she said I had a 30-30, and I know I had this one. I didn't have time for the 30-30. I know. So her recollection, it's a traumatic event. People are gonna, if you've been knocked out, especially, your memory's gonna be. She said I wouldn't have gotten in a car with him to drive back here, and that's true if he had knocked her out. So I really don't know what happened. That's one of those panic, missing time type things. But that's my older sister's husband. First encounter with, you can get some PTSD from that. And I hadn't been in the service yet. All right, my younger sister, Pam, I'm going to dig a picture out of her and Christy. There was the guy she was dating was an Army reject. And if you know anything about Army rejecting people, they'll take anybody. And he may have had brain damage. His name was Benny. But he came over to the house with a friend and another teenager, and I was in the living room. I was on leave. This is when I was in the service, but this is not really service-related PTSD, but I had PTSD from it while I was on leave, and he wanted to take the baby. Now we're at our house. Pam doesn't want him to take the baby. Mom calls the cops, but first she says, Bill, come in here and bring your gun. Mom never says that. So I brought my gun, and I didn't point at him. I had it pointed down, and Benny, he goes, oh, you think you're tough shit with a gun? Go ahead, shoot me. If I'd had any sense, I'd have gone over there and pistol whipped him, but I was trying to not shoot him. Anybody that thinks it's cool to cap people, it's much harder to not shoot somebody when they deserve a bullet, when they're asking for it. But she called the cops, and the cops said, well, it's his kid too. They thought that this disturbance was going on at Benny's house, not our house. And so that he kidnapped her. He didn't return her after that. And we spent a week of my leave looking for him, trying to set stuff up. We did like a raid on Entebbe type of thing. And, go ahead, go to sleep. Greg, you can rewatch this. I'm just blabbering. Don't worry. But anyway, I had to rescue my niece, and I was prepared to do anything to do it. But we did it without any violence. I was given some aluminum knucks, and I cornered Benny between a car door, and I knew I could have hit him, but I just saw that he was so scared. I just said, I just kicked this car door. We'd already severed the transmission line, so we wasn't going to go anywhere. And we'd already got the kid back. We were going to meet at Denny's or something, and as soon as Pam got her kid back, she ran out the door. Well, somebody in there thought that they were trying to run out without paying for their bill, and he got up, an off-duty cop. I was out there with a buddy of mine who was also on leave, and I saw Pam was dating some guy at that time that wore cowboy boots, and he went to kick Benny, and he slipped and fell on his ass. And I said, shit, I better get up here. He's already down. And it was the wrong guy was down. It's a good thing I didn't hit him because, like I said, the off-duty cop was there, and we got her back. But, I mean, I got PTSD from that, and for the longest time I could not finish that story. I could not even tell that story. My throat would constrict. And it makes you do weird things. But like I said, all my life I've been an introvert. I've been young and friendly. This is me in San Antonio. This is me at that shooting range. Now this knife that right here, I think I can't really tell you which it is, but I got a knife and it's extra ammo. And that's my tattoo, but it's not. It's faded. All right, so here's my first wife. We're in New Mexico. Her name was Lou. And I had a 35 millimeter camera. And New Mexico's really into balloons a lot. All right, this is Albuquerque. That's my mom. That's me. Somebody said I look like, I don't know. I look fat in that. Look at my neck and everything. That's when I weighed the most when I was working. I got up to like 140 pounds. But we're getting ready. She's in the limo, getting ready to go to a casino that Diana paid for. Here's a cat, Bofi. He liked to pose with guns. Smith and Wesson's 3913, 32 Bobcat, 25 Auto, 45, 45. I got different grips for that, but that's a CZ. I should show it in there. It's at 762, but it's out of focus. And then Ira Johnson 22 long rifle and a Glock 40 cal. Glock 27 or 26. That's a nice shooting gun, man. All of them gone, because why not? It's a cat. He's armed, pearl handle clip. That's just a regular Model 10 Smith and Wesson. Like I said, that's that gun that I confronted with. A Butler single shot 22 short. I think this is a Taurus, with speed loaders. I believe that's the Colt Detective Special. Yeah, but see, like I said, I had guns, oh plenty, collecting things. I had them here. They're all labeled. I'll pause that for you, or you can pause it for yourself. All right, here's my second wife. She's no longer living. My first wife was, let's say, an extrovert. My second wife, she was a teacher, and her passion was Scrabble. And that's it. But, after the other one, I needed to calm down. All right, now here's, he's Navajo, and my buddy in Intel. Man, this guy could play pool. I thought I could get him drunk and beat him. It doesn't. Because he grew up in a pool hall. His dad was. He just started learning that stuff. But anyways, let's get back to what happened. So I already have Wi-Fi access. She just gave me her password and everything, and I said, "Here, I only use it for this." And I said, "Really?" Because I use a lot of data. You know, after I start talking to people, things just start happening. I'm not doing it for that reason. It's just like helping this lady, all right? So, like I said, she's walking along and she's feeble and she's got this schnauzer and this chicken and everything, and she says, "I need to get I said, what are you trying to find?" She says, "They wrote it down on my tag." She got this little tag on her chest where it's written in Sharpie, 1112. It's really weird the way they. I said, "Well, this is building 2, and building 1 is up there." Now she can barely walk, and it's a hike. I said, "Look, I'll go find it for you. Don't try to keep up with me. I'll try to find out exactly where it is." And then I got my little scooter, but I can't carry her dog, and she can't get on the scooter. In her condition, she'd throttle herself into whatever. Um, but I go and I finally find it, and it's not easy. This breezeway, no, and I can tell from its bottom floor. But I go over, and finally I find it. It's down the breezeway and to the right here. And so I go back, and I told her, "Well, there's picnic benches over." She sat down by an air conditioner. I'm gonna make her a walker or a cane or something. I'm gonna do that. But she came back, and we came to the door, and she's still looking confused. And I said, "This is 112 is the one you want, right?" And she goes, "Yeah, but that's my apartment." And I said, "Well, where else did you need to go?" I'm not being, because she's apologizing left and right. "Oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to, do this and that." I said, "No problem. It's Sunday. I'm retired. I don't work here, but I'll help you, find your a door." But um, I said, "All right, we got to establish 112, 112 is your apartment. Which one do you need to go to?" And she said, 10. She goes, "This street looks familiar. I just need to get to my apartment." I said, "This is your apartment." "Oh, I'm so sorry." I said, "No." She goes, "I had a stroke," and I said, "You had a stroke, lady? I'm not gonna hold it against you. It messes with." She goes, She told me before that final conclusion. She said I had a stroke, and I said, well, you want me to make sure everything's all right and everything? She goes, "No, no, I'll be fine. Thank you very much, for your help and everything." I said, "No problem." So I'm on my scooter and I'm driving around, and there's three black people hanging out in the breezeway, just chilling. I've seen them before, smiling, and I drive up to them and I said, "Hey, do y'all know the lady that lives here? Do you know her and everything?" And no, somebody new moved in. I said, "Okay, man, cool." I said, "Yeah." I told the story, and I said, "If you get a chance, just keep an eye on it." He goes, "Oh, it's cool, man. I live right upstairs." And that's another few friends that I made that I just, I'm not afraid. I just walk up and be friendly to somebody, and if they don't like it, like when I was cleaning the kitty stuff, it's Sunday. I played all different kinds of music. I would play rap, country and western, old rock. Chad asked me, he goes, "Play some music, William." I go, "What do you want to hear?" He says, he goes, "Anything." And I said, "Are you sure, Chad?" And he goes, "Yeah, I don't care anything." Because I said, "I've heard it all." I said, "All right, remember you asked for it." And I turned on the music because you can hear it out the balcony, and I turned on belly dancing music. And he goes, classic rock, classic rock." And I said, what, Chad? I thought you said anything." And so I pushed it over to classic rock, and I went down there and I told him, "That was classic rock if you live in Saudi Arabia or something." But anyway, I went to. This is another thing that I would never let people know what my middle name is because they were always make fun of me. Milton the Monster, you know. Some people use that as Milt, as their name, but this is something I would never, tell somebody about. And this is, I only got an associate degree in arts. I picked arts because it gave me the most electives, and I learned a lot from that. I mean, it was a community college, but I got into, philosophy and then love, family, and marriage, where it was saying 50% of all marriages end in divorce, and this was before I got divorced. Um, but yeah, I didn't think I was going to be good in school. I graduated magna, not the highest one, sum laude or something. Anyways, it's because I enjoyed it. School was, and there's only so much I could tell you on school. But man, when they start telling you what really, here, she's in it, right here. I'm gonna bring out a kitten here. Sorry, and then we can look at the cat. I knew when she came in. I'm trapping her. I'm making her domesticated because she's one of the ones that's left off, and she's a female cat, and she's Scrappy's daughter. And if you leave them long enough, it's gonna be Scrappy's gonna jump her because he's top cat. And I got him to accept her as his daughter by using delectables and stuff. But he was like, "Get away from me." He won't kill her, but he's like, "Go away from me. You bother me." All right. I also have this. I can't show you the inside. It's non-classified, but uh, it's not something you should really have. And I'm sure the statute of limits. It's not classified at all. But when we went out, because we were in a secret thing, you had a flight line TO that covered all the systems that were in there, and you had a classified one that had to be signed out. So you had two of them. Oh, there she is, little girl. Come on, meh, meh. I've been trying to call her. I've gotten her where she accepts me and like her mommy, and I can pick her up and carry her a little bit. But what they were gonna do to her was reunite her with her mommy and the siblings as a farm kitty. It's okay, girl. All right, she's kind of hungry. Come on, get up here. You can purr on the camera. Sorry. Yeah, chat amongst yourselves right now. I get this cat some food because I gotta clean. It's a big mess here. No, you can't go outside, but you can here. There's some dry food. We'll get you something. You gotta have a video appearance. We'll put you up on the table. There you go. Yeah. Don't slip on the pictures. She wants to jump in the chair right below. There you go. There you go. She's a moderator right now. All right. So I was talking to Chad, and like I said before, I didn't really trust him because he doesn't always say. But he's got issues too, and he's on medication. Sometimes he's not on medication, and this is my sister. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm giving her away, I think, to somebody she's marrying. But that was in Old Town, Albuquerque. You're going to have to remind me what I was saying, because I'm getting distracted here. Here's me popping off. I was a gangster at an early age. Oh, I moved that away for the kitty. Oh, yeah, we were talking about the kitty. So, they were going to take her to the farm and, sterilize her and all this other stuff. Well, there's a guy here who lost a cat, and they call him Poppy. He limps. He's got a little daughter and everything. And Amber told me, well, we're going to take her to the farm unless you can find somebody else. And I'm like, oh, man. Here's the perfect thing, because I know these people, and they're going to love this cat. And she's just a kitten. If she tries to bite you, it's not hard, She's just playing. But let me get a swig of water and try to think of something here. Look at the chat. Klaus, you're the only one you're carrying the Frank B11, so that maybe I got 8 people, 4 likes, so that's good. But because I've got Wi-Fi and I've got that other phone that works now, the next giveaway that we do, you can see it happen live, because before it wasn't reliable, and I'm not cherry picking or anything. I just go with the first thing and I take a screenshot of it. But now we can go live, and also when we do stuff, we can do a giveaway on just the people that are live. Like I was watching Big Red. That's another thing that I stopped. I was a member, but I stopped participating in because I started withdrawing from everything. It wasn't just Big Red. It was financial at first, but it was just, I started shutting everything down. I reached a point where there was none of my hobbies were giving me any joy. Nothing was giving me any joy in my life. I wasn't going to end it all, but if a nuke happened or an asteroid hit us, it'd be entertaining. We're all going to go anyway. And as the older you get, you don't want to go slowly, piece by piece. But that's an attitude of someone that's, I don't know what happened, because it's switched like that. The way I feel, I can't stop talking to people. I can't stop talking about my life and finding out about them, and the reason why I haven't been talking to people, and Mary below, here's what happened. I was talking, she goes, "It's all right," and she touched my hand, and I pulled back just instinctively, because I'm not used to human touch, kindness like that. I'm not used to people accepting me, and again, like I said, the pandemic was great for me because with missing teeth, like I said, people judge you. And that's the next thing I'm going to work on. I'm going to get dentures or whatever. But now I don't care. If people see, I don't want to gross them out, so I've learned how to talk without opening my mouth much. But I can't smile, And that's another quality of life thing. So the glasses, I'm going to be able to see much better. I can get my driver's license again. I can vote. I can vote without needing a driver's license, but I thought that was the case. We can do all kinds of things with live stream. I can't talk about what's going on around here, but I don't have any worries about them ratting me out about anything. It's more like a neighborhood now. They say if you're going to survive anything, the best way to survive it is with a community. You can stockpile all the kind of food and stuff you want, and all you are is just a grocery store for a gang that comes in and takes it. But if you've got a community of people, then it's a little bit harder. And the best way to form a community of that is ex-military. Ex-military know a little bit more, but it doesn't mean that civilians can't be useful, but they know a little bit more about tactics. Come on, girl, I'm going to try to get you some food. It's like 2 a.m. here, and she's hungry. Now, here's another thing about cats, man. These cats are so damn picky. Tonight, a husky came through, and that's why I've got her in here, because she was going to go away tomorrow anyway. I don't want her going away because the dog killed her. And Scrappy has stood up to these dogs before. He's punched them in the nose, and they said, nah. I mean, he may have drawn blood, but he's never scratched me like Shadow and drawn blood. But he's not afraid of those. He knows he's not stupid, but he knows not to turn his back on them and run from them. Little kitten like this, I've been teaching her which tree to climb with the little mouse toy. I put it, and I got her trained like a circus animal, you know. It's all right, girl. And she gets up there and she gets lonely, and I just put her in my lap and let her purr. Let me get this non-slick area so you can, see roam around up there. We're just gonna clean up later, okay? We need to clean this up anyway. We need to find things. I don't want to make too much noise here. Get up here where it's safe. There you go. You can roam up there. I don't know if you can see her. Yeah, she's a pretty girl. Oh, yes. Nobody could touch her. Many people tried to get her, including myself at first. I tried to do you're looking, and that's female. Chad told me that was a male cat. And I told him, Chad, you go to bars very often, because if you can't tell the difference between, when they're young, but still, that's definitely a female kitty. She's smelling bread and stuff over there. Here, roam over here, man. You can get in that chair. I don't care. But yeah, Stripey, he takes over this chair, and then this is let me show you the back porch here. It's Wi-Fi, so we should be able to click that on. This is where Buddy used to hide, underneath there. Now I can use this. This is one where the battery caught on fire. But the whole purpose of putting this up was so that I wouldn't have to interact with people, and they wouldn't see that I had a cat that I didn't, wasn't with. And so if somebody was starting to walk that way, I'm not afraid of people, but I dip in here and get behind the screen and let them walk by. And if anybody was walking, and I was walking, and somebody was approaching me this way and I was walking, I'd divert my path to go that way. And it's not that I hate people or dislike people. It's I don't want to interact with them, because I don't know. But now that all that's gone, it's okay, girl. It's okay. Yeah, it's all right, girl. We gotta get you some food. Picky cats. Look at this. Let's see what we got here. You don't want to eat that. That's nice. Here's a can that I'm gonna have to throw away. A neighbor donated a bunch of these pates. Neither one of them will touch it. They will not touch the stuff. And it's not just like, they won't touch any of the stuff. I got chicken. I cooked chicken in the air fryer. They'll eat a little bit of that, but they're kind of like picky about that, and they'll leave it. I've still got some of that left. She rubbing up against my leg. Listen to that motor. Yeah. Poor kitty. She got sleepy. It was supposed to storm and everything, and that husky was out there. So I said, that's my knees and my back are killing me, because I'm 68 years old and walking all that time, and then with a kitten getting up and down and up and down. Oh my God, my back and my knees. So this is where Shadow would come in and get his water. And again, another thing that's been happening is I've been cleaning up in here, because I look at that and I go, oh, this is what he likes. Well, maybe I should clean it. They got me trained well, because then I get a sponge and I'm sitting here and I've been conking the crap out of my feet. I dropped a flashlight on it. I'm dropping knives. I'm losing things like crazy. I find things, but I lose things. But I've got a. Let me show you what I just brought over to. These are some of the knives I was going to show Chad and John. Chad's interested in knives and stuff, so I brought my entire Essie collection. Let me move this that way, girl. It's alright. That ruler was in your way and tripped you up, huh? Yeah. It's a cluttered place in here, but I'm working on it. You know, then I just dropped those. I'll get them. I'll try not to slip on them. But that's another thing when you lose sleep. It's not a good idea to lose sleep because that's where your body repairs stuff, and that's where dementia comes from. And again, because yeah, lack of sleep is not good for you. But I'm getting over it. I don't think I heard some food. So I'm gonna cut this off for right now. Thank you guys for everybody that attended this and watched it. I've gone for an hour. I got to drink some more water and straighten this up and tend to the kitty. And maybe she'll come in the bedroom and just sleep with me there because I do need to crash out sooner or later. So I'll try this again. Don't worry, because I've got reliable Wi-Fi now, I'll be doing more lives, and we'll figure out how things are going. We'll have a moderator that can sit there and respond to the questions in the chat a little bit, and anybody can be it, I mean, unless you're power hungry or crazy or something. Well, you can even be crazy. Doesn't matter. You want to be a moderator, you can, if you need to, but I mean, the amount of people we have, it's not needed. But anyways, thank you, and there's going to be a lot more good stuff coming forward because that's the way to go. The answer was love, because cats were offering me love. Scrappy was saying, "Look, Buddy and Shadow are imposters. I'm the real guy that really likes you, and you're wasting your time with them." I'm like, you know what? You're right. I'm not going to turn down a really good cat just because it costs, well, $400 isn't easy to come up with, but you can do it. Look at all these knives. Oops. Well, I guess that's our cue. She didn't do it. That was me knocking stuff over. So again, thanks for watching, everybody, and just watch the replay. But the good news is I've come out of my shell, making new friends. I'm not worried about things as much, Oh, one other thing. One other grudge. This is going to take a little bit of time to explain, but when my mom died, my sister and my brother-in-law got together and said, well, you can live with us until, you get on your feet. And I'm like, all right, thanks, because I hadn't worked for 5 years, and then my mom died, about the process, Well, Frank used to be a correction guard for Wackenhut or whatever, and he has that control mentality, and they didn't have internet out there, not even cell phone internet. I didn't have a cell phone that would reach that. And he confronted me one day. He walked up the stairs. He's psychotic, man. I mean, I'm crazy, but I know psychosis. You could not touch his chair, even if he wasn't there. If you moved it, he would find out about it. I like chickens too. I was raised up on, a small farm. The chickens were waiting for him to get home and stuff. And one day I fed the chickens, and he wouldn't confront me. He would tell your brother, don't feed the chickens. It's something I like to do. Well, why can't you talk to me about that? Why say tell your brother? Why don't you do it man to man? But when he finally works up the courage to confront me, he says, this just ain't working out. Why are you here and not looking for a job? I said, dude, you don't have any internet. The public library only opens up at a certain time for 1 hour, and I look for as many as I can. I didn't know about temp agencies. Eventually I got that. And when I did, I told Pam, I said, you know what? I'm never coming back here as long as this guy is alive. And for 13 years, she's been offering Thanksgiving and Christmas. And I've got all my nieces and nephews, but I don't even know a lot of them, but I have no issues. It's not I don't like them. I don't like Frank. And I don't like pretending that I like Frank. And so I've just not gone over there. But the thing is, it's screwing me over from my whole family, you know. I mean, I'm going. I told her I'm gonna go this time. And she's gonna pick me up. She's always offered to pick me up. Wasn't a matter of transportation. She's gonna pick me up and bring me back. Pick me up at noon. The eating will be at 3 o'clock, and then come back whenever. Man, I've got some cool nephews and nieces. You know, that really gives you more a sense of connection. But I cut myself off from it because I don't like the brother-in-law. And he's the type of person that if you meet him, you would think he's the best person in the world. He really is gregarious and friendly to strangers. Once you get to know him, oh my God. I told my sister, I said, you know what? If I was in your shoes, he would have mysteriously died of a foodborne illness or something. But she's Catholic. I just say that in jest, but I would not put up with someone like that. I would have gotten a divorce. She can't get a divorce because she's Catholic, but you don't have to be a Catholic, geez, to put up with somebody that's that way. They're just hiding behind their religion to be an abusive person. And you know how I feel about people attacking my family. But anyway, that's another thing I changed. So I'll show you. It's gonna be much better. It's just gonna take me time to process because I should have shut this off a long time ago, and I'm running my mouth explaining. But I just remember that she's exploring over here. She's looking at the batteries. This is a battery charging operation. She's gonna check out. She likes a case buoy, huh? Yeah. There's a black handle one you might like better. There's all else. I'll straighten this. This one wasn't gonna be a giveaway one either. I was just gonna keep that one as a reminder. And I can still go to Lake Bardwell and all that stuff, but Wi-Fi won't reach there, and even cell phone doesn't reach there. So it would just have to be no live from there. But anywhere in here, you know, she's right down below me, and it reaches all the way out to the picnic area with the Wi-Fi. So I mean that's much better, and it's a much faster upload speed. When I do a video, if it's 20 minutes long, it'll take me an hour to 2 hours to upload it. One video. That's not all the editing and all this other stuff. I went to upload a video earlier, and it was bam, just like that. It was uploaded. So I don't know how fast it was, but I expected to see progress, and it says all checks complete, no issues found. So again, thank you everyone for watching, and I'm just running off at the mouth anyway. I'll clean up this mess because I will slip and fall. I've been staggering a lot, but it's not because of I'm drinking. It's just that lack of sleep, lack of coordination. There you go. Thank you everyone for Chad has earned this one. You know, I know it was a gift to me, but, you know, if he wants it, he can have it because he was honest about it. And now that I know he's a Marine, it explains a lot because really they have that attitude of, you know, it sticks with them. And I got no issues with that. That's training. Anyways, there you go. I'll let you get back to your thing, and I'll try to end this. Thank you for watching, everyone, and we'll talk again sometime. Now, let's figure out how to end this thing. All right, up here, I guess. Are you sure you want to stop streaming? You mean stop talking? Yeah, sure.